What's up, guys, and welcome back to Tech Plant. Today I'm going to show you 8 unique philodendrons that are actually affordable. Let's check them out.
Alright, let's kick this list off with one of my all-time favorites, and that is the Philodendron billietiae. This one is really awesome, and I absolutely love it. I used to really like this plant, and I still really love it, but it used to be, in my eyes, like the poor man's Spiritus Sancti before the prices became pretty similar. This one is still cheaper, and honestly, you can get these really cheap now. I'm seeing like under $20 in some places, and they're totally worth picking up. The orange petiole and underside, the orange veins are really beautiful, and the way it contrasts with these deep dark green leaves is absolutely amazing. Its growth is really nice too because it's a pretty compact grower, and the leaves start to sort of evolve over time from the juvenile phase. They get much bigger ears, and unlike the Spiritus Sancti, the leaves get really wide as well as long. So it's a really cool, beautiful plant, and if you can get it to full size, it will really be a showstopper. Next up on the list is Philodendron Crassinervium. So this one is really cool because it has a very unique growth style. I love how it's almost like blades, and I really like the plump petiole on this one. The growth is just very strange. Even the leaf vein is very central. It starts out really fat and it gets real thin. It's just very interesting, and if you like to collect very like odd looking interesting philodendrons, this is definitely one for you. And this one has a pretty low price. I'm pretty sure all the ones in this video are relatively affordable nowadays, so they're really easy to pick up and add to your collection. This next one is also fantastic, and I love it so much. This one is Philodendron mayoi or mayoi, something like that. Either way, this one is really awesome, especially if you get it in a more juvenile shape, because the leaves almost look like they're going to be more like that Xanadu plant, which doesn't really excite me that much. But as it matures, the fingers on the leaves get so much longer, and they develop this really deep like red color in the petiole and the underside veins. And again, very similar to the billietiae, I love the contrasting colors of the nice green with something different like the red. It's very beautiful. And again, each new leaf is another more amazing, more finger-like leaf, and it really comes to be its own plant. I just really love this one, and it's been such an awesome one to have in my collection. And again, this one is quite cheap as well. If you can find one, I definitely recommend actually getting a young one so you can experience that change in leaves as it matures, because it's a wild ride and it's so fun to watch each new one unfurl. This next one is also a pretty cheap one nowadays. This is Philodendron 69686. Honestly, the name cracks me up. It's just such an odd name. I love it. The other thing is it has really cool leaf shape, and again, this is another one, like most of the philodendrons I'm showing you today, that really change over time as they mature. This one gets really big earlobes, it goes really slender, and then gets thick again at the end, like a teardrop almost. It just has a really unique shape, and I really love this one. Mine is like a collection of a few different seedlings all kind of growing together, so it looks really cool and really full. I can't wait to see this one get bigger and bigger and more mature. Again, just like the other one, I would definitely suggest getting a younger one just because you can watch the leaves change each generation, or not generation, but each leaf after each leaf. It's really fun, and it has a really unique leaf shape. Next up is Philodendron squamiferum. I really love this one as well. Again, most of these are going to be pretty unique. This one has a pretty awesome leaf shape too, very different to all the rest. It's almost like a combination of some of the previous ones, but this one has something even more unique about it. Looking at the petiole, there's little hair-like structures on them. They're not really like flexible like hair. They're actually quite like plump and firm, and they're really, really cool. They really add a lot to this one. Again, I told you earlier how I love the contrast between the green and the reds and oranges, and this one is no exception, except for this one is actually textured. So it's really, really cool. If you don't have this one, these are really cheap nowadays. You can find them all over the place. I definitely suggest getting it. They're really awesome, and you'll love seeing the little hairs develop over time. It's so much fun. This next one is Philodendron Dragon or Golden Dragon. I'm really not sure. I lost the tag. But again, this is another cool one with a really neat leaf shape. This reminds me of that 69686 where it has like the nice big ears, gets a little slender, and then gets that teardrop shape at the end. However, I like this one because it has a little bit more rigid, like ridges to the shape. It's hard to describe this, but it's almost like more ornamental. It's really cool. It does almost seem dragon or lizard like. It's just got a much different appearance than that 69686. So I think this is another one you should definitely add to the collection. I do know like starting from small to big, they change quite a bit as well. So it's another fun one to get young and watch it progress into its maturity. This next one is Philodendron subhastatum. I really like this one. I didn't think I was going to like this one that much. I picked this one up off of someone who is sort of liquidating their collection, so they're all pretty cheap. This one I think is really cheap online, like under $20, and this one is like very overlooked in my opinion. I don't see many people growing these ones. I think because they see the cheap price, they don't think they're awesome. But this one is really awesome. It gets huge. These new leaves that I like put out under my care have been insane. When I first picked it up, it had much smaller leaves, and like they have this little red pattern on them, so I thought that was pretty neat. I didn't realize it could get to the sizes that it's getting, and it's just really awesome. It really gets big, and it's kind of hard to like store in your collection, and I'm actually really curious how big it's going to get. But so far, it's really surprising me with the size, and it's just a really neat plant. It has a really nice leaf that's ruffled with the nice thick veins. It's really cool, and I think if you sun stress them, they get this really cool red pattern underneath, and it's just a really cool dynamic plant with a lot going on. This last one is Philodendron Pink Princess. Besides the funny name PPP, which cracks me up every time, now these are super cheap. They used to be super cheap, then they got super expensive, now they're super cheap again. The reason I like this one is it's a very cheap plant with unstable variegation, so it's a great learning tool to understand like how cutting these up, propagating can get you different variegation results, and it's just a lot of fun to learn on, and it can really surprise you with each leaf. I really like this plant. I've always wanted one, but just never thought it was worth the crazy prices because it's not that exciting. But at this new price, it's totally worth picking up and adding to your collection, and again, it's a really great way to experiment with propagating and getting different variegation patterns based on each cutting. You'll start to get an idea of how it all works, and it could set you up for Monstera albo and other plants similar in nature, so it's really cool.
Well guys, that pretty much sums up this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some new plants. Maybe none are new to you, maybe they're all new to you, but again, they're all worth picking up. They're very cool, they're all affordable these days, and especially the one thing I said earlier in the video, definitely look for one that's more in a juvenile form. It's really rewarding to see the plant grow with each new leaf get more mature. It's a lot of fun. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, may your plants grow strong and healthy. I'll see you next time.